Alright, it's Wednesday again, so welcome back to the Vantage Point YouTube channel for another random Status Quo song review. And this week our spinning wheel is taking us to song number 106. If You Can't Stand the Heat album, and the point where Quo started to tackle mental health long before it became fashionable with I'm Giving Up My Worrying. So if you can't stand the heat, how many copies do you need? It's obviously Quo are out what many people regard as their golden period, up to from Pile Driver up to Blue for You, and there were many things that were happening which meant they moved away from producing those great albums and those great sounding albums, that using outside producers, trying to expand their sound with disco techniques and horns and backing vocalists in this. But one of the others, and maybe a more lasting and more telling change, was this is the first song written by Francis Rossi and Bernie Frost. Bernie Frost had contributed to A Year with Alan Lancaster back in Pile Driver, but I think his first writing collaborations with Rossi to come to fruition were on this album. And I'm saying this is the first just because there's 3 songs on it, and this one comes first chronologically on the album. It might not be the first song they wrote together. Rossi contributed 4 songs. The other one was his old mucker Bob Young, so 3 Rossi Frost to 3 to 1 Bob Young. Kind of indicative of where the Quo sound was going to go in the next few years. The song itself is a pretty laid back number, coming in with just a nice language guitar riff, and then the band's in and they're straight in with the chorus, no messing around. I guess it sounds like it was written for Spotify, got to get straight to the point. You can't afford a long intro or people will have skipped on to the next song. Nice enough chorus, and then the verse, which is the chorus is very kind of straightforward, but the verse is that there's a lot more accenting, and particularly in the second half of the verse there's a lot more stop and start with the drums, giving it a slightly different feel. Then after the second chorus, there's probably the highlight of the song. There's a nice little lead guitar bit, just very short. It's basically the lead guitar on its own, kind of being accented by the band, but it's just a lovely little tune. Although you are reminded that they're trying to expand their music and update their sound at this point, because there's this pew in the background, very very disco-esque, unnecessary sound. Thankfully it's not too loud in the mix, but it's one of those things when you listen to it and go, what was that? And then when you hear it the next time you go, why was that? But anyway, that's nice. It's a nice little piece of guitar from Rossi there. And then you get subsequent verses and in chorus, and there's not much difference apart from obviously the words and the verses. I like the lyric about seeing a look-alike today. So yeah, it's just a nice little laid back tune, nice little groove to it. Goes along nicely, quite singable, hummable. And after the I was going to say the second chorus, but I suppose if they had a chorus at the start that makes it the third, you get that nice little guitar language, little guitar tune again. At which point you kind of think, oh, just go into a nice slow bluesy, heavy blues guitar solo over that kind of slow laid back beat. But unfortunately that doesn't happen. You get another one of those disco pew going off, and then I think a double or extra choruses to fade out. There's a nice little bass run just before the fade out, and Rossi does a bit more lead guitar lines during the chorus, but that's pretty much it. it very much is just the 3 minutes. Here's a concise 3-minute song that you could go and play on the radio. They've certainly not sat down in their little circle together with the amps turned up, just continuing to go and getting off on each other. But so it could maybe have gone places, but it's a nice little tune. So and as I said before, the production on this album, if we take out maybe some of the drowned sounds, I think is very good. You can hear everything, all the guitars and the bass clearly. It sounds nice. Apart from those little disco sound effects, this one's not so affected with horns or backing singers. So it's quite a little enjoyable number. I think on my little classification, I'll just put it into the good stuff. Good solid album track, and I think it's a good solid album, which could maybe be better. But actually, in the booklet for this, the most recent remaster, Rossi is quoted in it saying he likes this track, but was it right for Quo? Maybe not. And I don't think I've never listened to that album and thought, oh, that song shouldn't be there. That's more a Rossi solo track than a Status Quo song. To me, it definitely sounds like a Quo song. It's got that nice shuffle beat through it. It's a bit, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty decent little number. There's plenty of other songs later in the catalogue that I would say were probably not right for Quo. So slightly interesting that Rossi looked at that song in that view. But anyway, yes, good stuff for I'm Giving Up My Worrying. And that's the end of another exciting chat about a Status Quo song. I'll most likely be back next week doing the same thing.